Welcome to Team Rocket Garage. My name is Zach, and this is my review of the Toyo Open Country AT tire. I ended up buying this tire after considering the Yokohama Geolander AT on the higher end and the Falcon Wild Peak AT3W, Goodyear Wrangler, and the Forcium ATZ on the lower end of the price spectrum. I want to point out, it is hard to spend more than the $160 per tire these cost for my size, a 235/70/15, on this small of an off-road tire, so I had high expectations. Now, I had Falcon Rubitrex on a previous truck, and I was looking for similar off-road performance, but better on-road manners. I had driven thousands of miles on the back roads and rock hills of Utah's back country, so the open country makes a lot of sense. I also wanted a tire that would be acceptable for my wife's standards for this vehicle, since she likes the Jeep so much. I bought these independently and have not been sponsored or paid by any tire manufacturer for my review, and I make these reviews on my own time and my own dime. If I could have done it differently, I would have gone through Tire Rack and used their install service as well. It just makes life easier. The tires look great, and it really makes me feel good to know I have a quality tire on my truck. I love seeing that Toyo tire logo facing out. I don't often care about the look of a tire, but these really make you feel good. On the first drive with these tires, I had my wife drive home, but in a freak snowstorm accident, we decided to avoid the highway and stick to the snow-packed city streets. Now, I'll spare you the details, but she had an accident years ago in the snow in a similar vehicle, an Xterra, and that caused her a ton of grief and anxiety about driving in the snow. But even she told me that she felt safe with these tires and admired the predictable traction of the Toyo tire. It was a long drive home due to a few different factors, but even with the snow and ice, my wife felt very comfortable driving this truck on these tires, and as a husband, this makes me feel really good. I'll talk about the traction in a bit here, as I've tested these in every way I can think to test them, but for your own reference, I want to talk about the rig I have these on. I use these tires on a 1994 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This truck is a V8 and it's stock height, even stock tire size, but it does have a rear locker. I use this truck for long trips and off-road pretty much exclusively, but if it snows, we just use this thing instead of other vehicles. It was important to me that these tires be predictable and reliable. We went to test these out at Dugway, Utah. It was January, and there was an immense amount of mud that I would consider to be the texture of peanut butter about. Because of this, I was pretty intimidated, but the Jeep did not seem to care, even though almost no vehicle should have been where I was. We came here again when it was dry, and the Jeep did just as well or even better thanks to these Toyo tires. I want to commend these tires for their off-road ability because even though they are a small 28-inch diameter, which any off-roader would tell you is hilariously small, they really punch above their weight. I would expect this due to their pricing though, landing at double the price of the entry-level tire in this size and application. It was really important to me that when I got these tires, my wife felt comfortable and safe in the snow and rain. These tires have delivered on that 10 times over and more. If there's an application for off-road, mud, snow, or rain and you can't go for a bigger tire, like on a small SUV, crossover, or Subaru, these tires are unstoppable and I highly recommend them. I really want to tell you about some drawbacks for these tires. I typically do in all of my tire reviews, but I can't think of a single drawback with this tire other than the price, which even still for their performance is reasonable. Now, I'll rate the tires in 7 ways, and if you're considering buying them, check out the link in the description for the best source of tires that I've found. In the interest of the Toyo Open Country AT tire, I would score dry traction at an 8 out of 10, wet traction at an 8 out of 10, snow traction at a 9 out of 10, considering that they're not a snow tire, ride at an 8 out of 10, noise at a 9 out of 10, value at an 8 out of 10, and my overall impression of this tire an 8 out of 10 for a total score of 8.6 out of 10. This is a great tire. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing and checking out more of my other car and truck related videos as well.